Have you ever stopped to think about the limitation of our senses? The fact that we experience the world through sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell? In today's video, I'm going to break down how we can break free from these confines and explore the world of our immediate perceptions and how we can really use these inner knowings to transform our reality. So make sure you watch until the end of this video because you're not going to want to miss this. You know, there are obviously countless stories of people following their own intuition, avoiding danger, or finding the right opportunity, the right person. We've all had those moments where we just knew something without any kind of a logical explanation, but we knew. And even if no one else around us believed what it was that we believed, we trusted that feeling more than anything else. It's intuition, right? We all know this. So if that sense that we just alluded to, right, the sixth sense, goes beyond the physical, what else goes beyond the physical, right? Our existence extends far beyond the physical. And of course, quantum physics challenges our understanding of reality, suggesting that, you know, at the core of everything, there's energy, there's consciousness, both which describe something that we simply just can't get a grasp of with our five physical senses, right? If you don't already know who Neville Goddard is, I highly encourage you to check out some of his work. Has taught me a lot, has definitely influenced a lot of my upcoming content. But in one of his books called Awakened Imagination and the Search, he has a quote that says, "Man either goes forward to his imagination or remains imprisoned in his senses." So that's obviously pretty deep and obviously very relevant in regards to the topic of this particular video, right? Because he is suggesting in that quote that you can actually be a prisoner of your own reality if you believe that this is all that there is to reality, that your thoughts and emotions, although, you know, you can't see them physically, you can't physically see what it is that I'm thinking or feeling, and that just affirms that there is more that exists, and our imagination has a lot to do with what exists beyond the physical, right? You ever heard of the saying that perception is reality? Well, it's a lot truer than a lot of people might think. Our brains constantly construct our realities based on sensory input, past experiences, and cultural influences, right? But what if we consciously shape our own perception? So I definitely, like I said, I encouraged you guys to check out some of the work of Neville Goddard, just because a lot of his work is very relevant to what it is that we're talking about in this video. But I also encourage you to check out some of the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's on a lot of podcasts nowadays, a lot of health and wellness, like talk shows and stuff like that. And he has some very interesting work, right? And a lot of interesting evidence on top of the work that he's done to really confirm a lot of the things that I'm talking about here in this video. However you measure success, whether that's money, you know, fitness, and just overall well-rounded happiness, right?
In the quantum, you have to feel it to experience it. In three-dimensional reality, you know, you wait for the experience, and the experience produces the feeling, and it takes away the lack or the emptiness of having it, and that's fine. That's how we navigate in three-dimensional reality. But when we truly create beyond the realm of space and time, if we create from the field instead of from matter, it's a different game.
It really is just a powerful reminder that our thoughts and beliefs have a direct impact on what it is that we experience and can literally shape the world that we live in, because perception is the world that we live in. There was one video that I watched, it was an Andrew Tate video. I know Andrew Tate, it's crazy, man. Like, he's an interesting dude for sure. You know what I'm saying? I've consumed a lot of his content. He had this one thing he spoke about where there's two people in a house and they both hear a noise. It's at nighttime, right? One of them hears this noise at night and they're like, it's just the wind, goes back to sleep. On the other hand, the other person who was awakened by this noise, it's a ghost. Someone's in the house, murderer is coming for me. And now that's the world that he lives in. So it really is about perception, because the way that you perceive something will determine the world that you're living in. Same goes for, like, for example, like I live a plant-based lifestyle. So I just consume plant-based foods, right? So I might consume a food, I'd be like, yo, like this is delicious. Like I'm loving this. And then someone else would consume the same food and be like, bro, this is weak. So it's neither good nor bad. It's just perception. I perceive the food to be amazing. It's delicious. I love it. Whereas the other person who's consuming the food says otherwise. How could we take that same concept of perception, how can we break it down a step further, right? And use it to our advantage to cultivate our own perception, because there is no good nor bad. Everything just is. So that being said, right, like living beyond our senses, in no way am I trying to say that we should reject what it is that we perceive from our senses, right? It's not about rejecting them at all. It really is just a matter of expanding our consciousness, expanding natural inner knowings that the five senses simply cannot pick up on, raising our own self-awareness so then we can attain these new levels of information through consciousness. right? It really is just opening your mind to the idea that there really is more to life than what is beyond the senses. You get what I'm saying? It's a journey inward, exploring the vastness of our inner world. So we can give a couple of examples here. So meditation, for example, whether you meditate or not, whether you're early in your practice or if it's something you've been doing for a while, I've been meditating consistently for a few years, and I've definitely had some outer body experiences that I can't really explain, but I know within myself what it is that I've experienced, and it just reaffirms that we do have the ability to transcend what we're limited to through our senses here on this planet. And then, of course, there's like psychedelic experiences. And I won't get too deep into like, talk about psychedelics. Maybe I'll make like another video on them. If that's something y'all interested in seeing, drop it in the comments below. But again, psychedelic experiences, it's like your perception is drastically changed, and it's a profound shift in consciousness during those experiences. And it's like none of those psychedelic experiences are actually happening in your physical world, right? But as far as your perception goes, it's real, right? So again, it's just some food for thought, just to help really simplify this concept a step further. Okay, but now let's really get into some practical tips, okay? I really want to share some tips with you guys to really help expand your consciousness and to really live beyond your senses, so you can really step outside of the boundaries of your senses, because there is more. So tip number one would just be mindful practices. So whether that's, meditation, whether that's, breathing techniques, whether that's stretching is a really good one actually, and yoga would like fall into that. Meditation, breathing, flexibility, movement, or just conscious breathing, or just setting some time aside to bring yourself into the present moment. Whatever it is, just a mindful practice to really bring yourself back into the moment and remind yourself who you are, your emotions, and just really tapping back into your consciousness. Tip number two would be trusting your intuition, paying attention to your inner knowings and allowing those inner knowings to guide you, right? How do you do that? It just requires practice, like trying to identify that feeling, aligning yourself with that feeling, and allowing that feeling, that sense, to guide you. Again, it's not something that you can taste, it's not something that you can hear, it's something that you must feel. And tapping into that feeling state regularly will allow you to live beyond the boundaries of your senses. And then tip number three, this would be a big one for me, something that I do regularly and I've made a habit of, but just questioning your perceptions. Is what I'm seeing the entire truth? Is there more to it? And I think just having those internal reflections with yourself will, again, allow you to tap into your intuition, so then things become a lot more clear to you, but also getting into the habit of cultivating your own perception, because again, your perception is your reality, right? So you can perceive things subjectively in the light that you want to see them. So I encourage you guys to ponder on this. Are you ready to stop living solely through your senses, to open yourself up to the vastness of what lies beyond? It really is a journey of self-discovery and expansion of yourself, being your consciousness, which will then lead to pretty significant shift in regards to how you experience life. If this video resonated with you, y'all know what to do, man. Drop a thumbs up on the video and consider subscribing. Y'all already know what that does for the algorithm, and it supports me more than you know, so that goes a long way. Appreciate y'all. Of course, if you made it this far in the video, we're clearly aligned to a degree as far as, vibration and frequency. So I wish you nothing but peace and love on your journey, man, and I will catch y'all in the next one, man. It's your boy KT. I'm out.